Before Marilyn Monroe, before Jane Mansfield, there was Jean Harlow, Hollywood's first blonde bombshell. The woman who invented platinum blonde hair dot, she was the biggest sex symbol of the 1930s. Men worshipped her. Women wanted to be her. Every hairdresser in America tried to copy her impossible platinum hair. But on May 29, 1937, Jean Harlow collapsed on a movie set. She was 26 years old. Her co-star Clark Gable tried to catch her, and when he leaned down to kiss her goodbye, he smelled urine on her breath. Her kidneys were failing. Her body was shutting down. 9 days later, she was dead. But that's not the only tragedy. 5 years earlier, her husband was found dead, naked, shot in the head. A mysterious suicide note that made no sense. GM covered it up. The police looked the other way, and Jean Harlow never spoke about it again. This is the story of Hollywood's first blonde bombshell. The woman who had everything, except time. But before Hollywood, before the fame, before the tragedy, Jean Harlow was just a teenage girl who ran away to get married. March 3, 1911, Kansas City, Missouri. A baby girl named Harleigh Carpenter was born into wealth. Her father was a successful dentist. Her mother, Jean Harlow Carpenter, came from money. But Jean's mother, also named Jean, had bigger dreams than Kansas City. She wanted Hollywood. She wanted stardom. And when she couldn't have it for herself, she decided her daughter would have it instead. When Harleigh was 11, her parents divorced. Her mother remarried a man named Marino Bello, a charming con man who would later drain every penny from Harleigh's earnings. At 16, Harleigh did something shocking. She eloped. She ran away with a wealthy young stockbroker named Charles McGrew. They moved to Los Angeles, and for a brief moment, she was happy. But her mother followed her to California, and she had plans. One day, Harleigh's friend needed a ride to a movie studio. Harleigh drove her there, and a talent scout spotted her in the car. That was the moment everything changed. Her mother pushed her into acting. Her husband hated it. And then Howard Hughes saw her and turned her into a star. In 1929, Howard Hughes, the eccentric billionaire, was making the most expensive movie ever filmed, Hell's Angels, a World War I aviation epic. He had a problem. His leading lady was Norwegian, and her accent didn't work for the new talking pictures. He needed a replacement. Fast. Someone showed him a blonde teenager named Harleigh Carpenter. Hughes signed her to a 5-year contract on October 24, 1929, paying her just $100 a week. She took her mother's maiden name as her stage name, Jean Harlow. Hell's Angels premiered on May 27, 1930. It was the biggest premiere Hollywood had ever seen. Charlie Chaplin was there, Gloria Swanson, Cecil B. DeMille. Jean Harlow walked the red carpet in a dress that left nothing to the imagination. She delivered the most famous line of her career. "Would you be shocked if I put on something more comfortable?" The next morning, Jean Harlow woke up a star. Her platinum blonde hair started a nationwide craze. Every woman in America wanted that color. Howard Hughes offered $10,000 to any hairdresser who could match it. No one ever could. Her color required a brutal weekly process: ammonia, Clorox bleach, and Lux soap flakes. It destroyed her hair, but it made her immortal. By 1932, Jean Harlow was MGM's biggest star. She fell in love with a powerful studio executive. 2 months after their wedding, he was dead. Paul Bern was Irving Thalberg's right-hand man at MGM. He was 42 years old, short, balding, not handsome. But he believed in Jean Harlow when nobody else did. He saw her as more than a body. He saw her talent, and she fell in love with him. On July 2, 1932, Zhang Harlow married Paul Bern. It was the talk of Hollywood. The sexiest woman in the world, marrying a man twice her age who looked like an accountant. 2 months later, everything fell apart. September 5, 1932, Labor Day weekend. Paul Bern's butler found him in the bedroom. He was naked, shot in the head. A .38 caliber revolver lay beside him. There was a note, "Dearest dear, unfortunately, this is the only way to make good the frightful wrong I have done you, and to wipe out my abject humiliation. I love you." Paul, what did it mean? What frightful wrong? What abject humiliation? Here's where it gets strange. The butler's first call wasn't to the police. It was to MGM. Louis B. Meyer and his executives arrived at the house. 2 hours before the cops. What did they do during those 2 hours? Nobody knows. But when the police finally arrived, the story was already set. MGM announced that Paul Bern had killed himself because he was impotent. He couldn't consummate his marriage to the world's greatest sex symbol. The shame drove him to suicide. But there's another theory. Paul Bern had a secret. A common-law wife named Dorothy Millett. He'd been supporting her for years. 2 days after Bern's death, Millett threw herself off a steamboat into the Sacramento River. Did she kill him? Did MGM cover up a murder to protect their biggest star? Zhang Harlow never said a word. She took whatever she knew to her grave. The scandal could have destroyed her. Instead, it made her more famous than ever. But she only had 5 years left to live. After Paul Bern's death, Zhang Harlow threw herself into work, and she became the biggest star MGM had ever seen. Dinner at 8, Bombshell, China Seas, Red, Dust with Clark Gable, the first of 6 films they'd make together. Gable became her best friend. He called her the baby dot in 1933. She married again, MGM cameraman Harold Rawson. It lasted 8 months. Another failure dot, then she met the love of her life, actor William Powell. He was suave, sophisticated, 16 years older. They fell deeply in love, but Powell wouldn't marry her. He just divorced Carole Lombard, and he wasn't ready. Zhang waited and waited. She would never stop waiting. By 1936, something was wrong. Zhang was tired all the time. She was gaining weight, but eating less. Her skin had turned grayish. Her friend Myrna Loy noticed it. So did Clark Gable, but Zhang kept working. She had no choice. Her mother and stepfather had spent all her money. She was supporting her entire family. In May 1937, Jean started filming what would be her last movie. She didn't know she had only days to live. In April 1937, Zhang Harlow started filming Saratoga with Clark Gable. She was 26 years old and looked 40. Her face was puffy. Her energy was gone. On May 20th, she started complaining of fatigue, nausea, and abdominal pain. The studio doctor said it was just the flu. May 29, 1937. Jean was filming a scene where her character had a fever, but Jean's fever was real. Between takes, she leaned against Clark Gable and whispered, "I feel terrible. Get me back to my dressing room." She asked someone to call William Powell. He rushed to her side. That was Zhang Harlow's last day on a movie set. For the next week, Zhang lay in bed at home. Doctors came and went. They thought she had an inflamed gallbladder. They were wrong. On June 6th, Clark Gable came to visit. When he leaned down to kiss her cheek, he smelled urine on her breath. He knew what that meant. Her kidneys had failed. She was dying. That night, Zhang was rushed to Good Samaritan Hospital in Los Angeles. She slipped into a coma. William Powell was at her bedside. Her mother was there, but there was nothing anyone could do. On June 7, 1937, At 11:37 in the morning, Jean Harlow died. She was 26 years old. The cause? Kidney failure from a childhood case of scarlet fever. Her kidneys had been slowly dying for years. In 1937, there was no treatment, no dialysis, no transplants, nothing. Hollywood was devastated. But they still had a movie to finish, and Jean Harlow would appear in it. Even after death, Jean Harlow's funeral was held at Forest Lawn Memorial Park. Thousands of fans lined the streets. The biggest stars in Hollywood came to say goodbye. William Powell was so devastated he could barely stand. He bought her a private crypt of pink marble for $25,000, a fortune in 1937. He placed a note in her hands. "Good night, my dearest darling." The inscription on her tomb reads simply, "Our baby," the nickname everyone called her. MGM still had to finish Saratoga. They used 3 different doubles to complete Jean's scenes. One for close-ups, one for long shots, one to dub her voice. When the film was released, it became MGM's highest-grossing picture of 1937. Audiences came in droves to see Jean Harlow one last time. Jean Harlow's legacy is everywhere. She invented the blonde bombshell, a term that didn't exist before her. She proved that sex symbols could also be talented comedians. A little girl in Los Angeles grew up idolizing her. That girl would become the next great blonde bombshell, Marilyn Monroe. Monroe planned to make a movie about Harlow's life, but died before filming began. In 1999, the American Film Institute ranked Jean Harlow as the 22nd greatest female star in Hollywood history. Harlow was in the film industry for only 9 years. She made 36 films. She was married 3 times. She never had children. She died at 26, the same age as her looks, her talent, and her pain. She never got to marry William Powell. He remarried years later and was cremated when he died in 1984. They never shared that pink marble crypt. But every time you see a platinum blonde on screen, every time you hear the words Blonde Bombshell, you're seeing Jean Harlow's ghost. She was the first. And in many ways, she's still the best. If Jean Harlow's story moved you, share it with someone who loves classic Hollywood. Subscribe for more stories of stars taken too soon. Next week, Marilyn Monroe, the woman who idolized Jean Harlow and died the same tragic way. Tell me in the comments, who's your favorite classic Hollywood star? Until then, rest in peace, baby.